Hello students, hope all of you are fine. Today I am going to start the topic equipotential surface. So today we will discuss the equipotential surfaces and their properties. As this word equipotential indicates, equipotential means equal potential. So equipotential surface is that surface at every point of which potential is same. Previously you have studied Gaussian surfaces. So Gaussian surface is that surface at every point of which electric field intensity is same. The magnitude of electric field intensity is same. Similarly, in case of equipotential surface, it is a surface at every point of which electric potential is same. For example, if I take some positive point charge, then the equipotential surface for this point charge will be spherical in shape. If we draw a sphere around it, then at every point of this sphere, since the distance of any point on the surface of sphere from the center is same for all points on the surface, so the value of potential at every point on this surface is same. So means this surface is equipotential. Similarly, we can draw other surfaces. So all these surfaces, they are equipotential surfaces. Now if we draw electric field lines, which we have already discussed, the electric field lines, they are directed outward from the positive charge. So these are the equipotential surfaces for a positive point charge. Now as far as properties are concerned, if I talk about first property, the first property of this equipotential surface is the amount of work done in taking a test charge from one point to another point on the equipotential surface is zero. We have already discussed the potential difference between 2 points. By definition, the potential difference between 2 points is, if A and B are 2 points, let I consider 2 points here, A and B. So, if potential at point A be VA and at point B be VB, then by definition it is equal to work done over test charge. Means work done is equal to VB minus VA into Q naught. So this is the definition of potential difference. Now since this surface is equipotential surface, so potential at point A and B is same. Let the potential here be VA and here VB, but the value of VA and VB will be same. So means VB minus VA will be equal to 0. So that is equal to 0 into Q naught, because VB is equal to VA in case of equipotential surface. So that is equal to 0. So means this is the first property, that the amount of work done in taking a test charge from one point to another point on the equipotential surface is always 0. So this is first property. Second, these are the electric field lines. So electric field lines are always normal to any point on the equipotential surface. Means if this is electric field line, it is normal at this point. This electric field line is also normal at this point. Now if we want to prove this property, we can prove from this property. If there is some test charge Q naught be lying at this point, now the electric field at this point is directed outward, or this is positive charge. So electric field line will be along this side. If I displace this charge toward this side, let dl be the small displacement, then the small amount of work done displacing this charge toward this side, dw will be equal to f dot dl, but or that is equal to q naught e dot dl. Now let the angle between this E and dl be theta. So that is equal to q naught E dl cos theta. Now we have already discussed the amount of work done in taking a test charge on the equipotential surface from one point to another point is always 0. So means since dw is equal to 0, this implies this whole term will be equal to 0, q naught E dl cos theta is equal to 0, but this q naught E and dl, they are non-zero, so means cos theta is equal to 0, and this implies theta is equal to 90. So here this theta becomes 90. So this is tangent at this point. So means this electric field line is normal at this point. So we can generalize the electric field lines are always normal at any point on the equipotential surface. So these are the two properties. The third property is no two equipotential surfaces can intersect with each other. Third property is no two equipotential surfaces can intersect with each other. Because if they intersect, then at the point of intersection there will be two values of electric potential, which is not possible. For example, if I draw in certain region of electric field, if I draw one surface and another surface, then these are two points of intersection. So there can be certain value of potential due to this charge at this point and at this point, and due to this surface the value can be different. Means at the point of intersection there are two values of electric potential, but that is not possible. In the same region of electric field at single point there is only one value of electric potential. Two values are not possible. That's why two equipotential surfaces can never intersect with each other. So this is the third property. These equipotential surfaces, they also give the pictorial representation of electric field in certain region of space. As we have discussed, the electric field lines, they give the pictorial picture of the electric field in certain region. Similarly, these equipotential surfaces, they give the pictorial representation of electric field in certain region of space. For example, you can see these two equipotential surfaces, they are near to each other as compared to these two equipotential surfaces. Means as we move away from the charge, the separation between the equipotential surfaces that go on increasing. So we can say that the region where equipotential surfaces are closer together, that region represents the region of strong electric field, and the region where equipotential surfaces are far away from each other, that region represents region of weak electric field. We can also prove that mathematically. So the fourth property is, yesterday we discussed the relation between electric field and potential, that is E is equal to minus dV over dr, or we can write, if we assume that this dV is constant, then we can write E is proportional to 1 over dr, or dr is proportional to 1 over E. Means greater the separation, smaller will be the electric field. So as I said, the region where equipotential surfaces are near to each other, in that region electric field is strong, and if this separation is large, as this separation is large as compared to this separation, so in this region if dr is greater, the electric field will be weak. So we can say that this equipotential surfaces, they give the pictorial representation of electric field in certain region of space. Now we can also draw some other equipotential surfaces for different configuration of charges. If I replace this positive charge with negative charge, then these equipotential surfaces, therefore they are for positive point charge. So here electric field is outward. Now if I have to draw the equipotential surfaces for negative point charge, then the difference is just of the direction of these electric field lines. So if I write here negative point charge, negative point charge, then these arrows, they will be directed inward. So these are the equipotential surfaces for negative point charge. Again, for negative point charge, the shape of equipotential surfaces is spherical. Now we can draw equipotential surfaces for an electric dipole or an electric dipole. Electric dipole consists of two equal and opposite charges with small separation. So if this charge is positive and there is some negative charge, but this is a small separation, then we can draw the equipotential surfaces for this system of an electric dipole. So again, for this positive charge, surfaces are spherical. For this charge, surfaces are spherical. in this region I am showing small separation as compared to this region, because electric field is strong in this region as compared to in this region. So these are the equipotential surfaces for an electric dipole. So we can draw electric field lines. We can draw for this. So these are the equipotential surfaces for a system of two equivalent positive charges, which is known as an electric dipole. Now we can draw the equipotential surfaces for a system of like charges. Let there be two like charges of same magnitude for a system of two like charges. So let here be some charge Q. So these are two charges, both are positive and they are of same magnitude. So again now you can see here I have shown the separation between the equipotential surfaces as more than in this region, because electric field in this region is big as compared to in this region outside the charges. So these are the equipotential surfaces for a system of two equal and charges of same sign. We can draw the electric field lines. They are directed away from the charges. Since there is force of repulsion between these two charges, these are the control electric field lines. So these are the equipotential surfaces for two charges which are same in magnitude as well as they are alike. Means they are of same nature either. So here I have shown the positive charges. Now the last one is, if we want to draw the equipotential surfaces in a region of uniform electric field. In uniform electric field, as we know, the electric field lines which represent uniform electric field, they are straight, equidistant and parallel. So let I draw, these are the electric field lines which represent uniform electric field So this is a region of uniform electric field. So electric field lines are straight, equidistant and parallel. So in this case, the equipotential surfaces, they will be planar in shape. So they are planar. So equipotential surfaces in a uniform electric field, they are planar in shape. Also, the separation between these planar surfaces is same. So this is the direction of electric field. So if separation between these two surfaces is x, then here it will also be x. Means first, the shape of equipotential surfaces in uniform electric field is planar, and second, the separation between different planar surfaces in uniform electric field is same. So here this separation is equal to this separation. If the electric field is increasing along x-axis, means the direction of electric field is same, but if the magnitude of electric field is increasing along x-axis, then if this separation is x1, then we have to draw this equipotential surface such that the separation between these two surfaces should be less than the separation between these two surfaces. So here if it is x1, then it is x2. So if in this case the electric field is increasing uniformly along x-axis, so these are the equipotential surfaces drawn in an electric field which is increasing uniformly along x-axis. So E or electric field is increasing uniformly along x-axis. So here this separation x1 is greater than x2. Similarly, we can draw the equipotential surfaces in an electric field which is decreasing uniformly along x-axis. In that case, this x1 will become less than that of x2. So in this way, these are the equipotential surfaces for different configuration of charges, and in case of uniform electric field or non-uniform electric field. So this was all about equipotential surfaces. So there is one more article, electric potential energy. So let us discuss electric potential energy for a system of charges. Electric potential energy. So this electric potential energy is possessed by the system of charges by virtue of their positions, or we can define the electric potential energy of a system of charges as the amount of work done in bringing those charges from infinity to their respective positions. So we will derive the expression for this electric potential energy for a system of two charges. First, for a system of two charges. So let I consider system of two charges. Let this charge be Q1 and here I place charge Q2. Let R12 be the separation between these two charges. Let this point be A and this point be B. So these are the two charges Q1 and Q2 separated by this distance R12. Now as I said, the electric potential energy for a system of charges is the amount of work done in bringing those charges from infinity to their respective positions. So first, if we talk about this charge Q1, the work done in bringing this charge Q1 when Q2 is not there will be 0. Means if I say that W1 is the work done in bringing this charge Q1 in the absence of Q2, then work done will be 0, because there will not be any force which will act on this charge in the absence of any other charge. So the work done for bringing this charge from infinity will be 0. So this is 0. But when we have to bring this charge Q2 from infinity to this position, then we have to do some work against the force of repulsion due to this charge. So if this charge is to be bring from infinity to this position, then the work done bringing this charge Q2 from infinity will be equal to the magnitude of this charge into potential of this charge Q1 at point B. Now the potential of this charge Q1 at point B, if it is V1, then we write V1 is equal to K Q1 over R12, that is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 over R12. This is the potential of this charge Q1 at point B. Now, in order to bring this charge Q2 from infinity to this point, if W2 be the work done, then this W2 will be equal to V1, or we can write electric potential of charge Q1 at V into Q2, or that is equal to V1 into Q2, that is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 over R12. Now the sum of these two work will be stored in this system as electric potential energy. So electric potential energy will be equal to electric potential energy U is equal to W1 plus W2, that is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R12. So this is formula for electric potential energy for a system of two charges which are placed at certain points in vacuum. Similarly, we can write formula for different system of charges depending upon the number of charges. Now this energy also depend upon the sign of the charges. For positive charge we take sign positive, for negative we take it as negative. Now I just write formula for a system of three charges. For a system of three charges. So if there are three charges Q1, Q2 and Q3, that they are placed at three different points, that this is A point, B and C, that here charge be placed in Q1 here, Q2 and here Q3. Let a separation between these two charges be R12. Between Q1 and Q3 let the separation be R13, and let the separation between Q2 and Q3 be R1, R2, 3. Then the electric potential energy for system of these three charges, it can be written as 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught for these two charges. Will written q1 q2 over r13 plus 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught for these two systems q2 q3 over r23 plus for these two system 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q3 over r13, or we can take this 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught common, so we can write here q1 q2 over separation between q1 and q2, that is r13 plus q2 q3 over r23 plus q1 q3 over r13. So this is an expression for electric potential energy for a system of 3 charges. Similarly, we can write expression for electric potential energy for system of other charges, and on the basis of this we can solve numericals based on this electric potential energy. So with this I stop here. Today we will we discussed the equipotential surfaces, their properties. As I said, the properties of equipotential surfaces are: first, no work is done in moving any charge from one point to another point on the equipotential surface. Electric field lines are always normal to the equipotential surface at any point. No two equipotential surfaces can intersect with each other, and also the equipotential surfaces, they give the pictorial representation of electric field in certain region of space. Means if electric field in certain region of space is strong, then equipotential surfaces are closer together in that region, and if the equipotential surfaces are farther away from each other in certain region, then that region represent region of weak electric field. So with this, I wish you stay safe and stay healthy. With this, our this potential electric potential topic is over. Now in next class I will start with capacitance. So thank you.